Hi, this is P. Gayatri, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, KCS Kastner College of Arts and Science. In this video, we are going to see about the barriers of communication. Communication is effective if it flows freely in a communication loop between the sender and receiver. Free flow means uninterrupted transmission of the information through an appropriate medium, correct comprehension of the message by the receiver, and a relevant and appropriate feedback from him. So, barriers to communications range from the simple distracting noise to the most complex psychological factors. There are five types of barrier. First is a physical barrier and a semiotic barrier, cultural barrier, psychological barrier, and perception barrier. First, we see about physical barrier. There are some physical barriers which are easy to alter, whereas some may prove to be tough obstacles in the process of effective communication. So, in physical barrier, there are four types. First is a place, space, time, and climate. Now we see about the first physical barrier, place. The place or the location where a communication process takes place can degenerate into a barrier to effective communication. For example, poor lighting and inconvenient place. A simple comparison of the surroundings in a government or municipal office and the ambience provided in a multinational company will show how place and surroundings play an important role in effective communication. Next is the time. Time is an important role in a communication process. Time can impact the promptness and clarity of communication. Time barriers may occur when employees work in different time zones. The time lag between countries in Europe, America, and Asia has to be overcome by the adoption of modern and fast communication channels. Quickness of communication is the watchword in the modern world of communication. Next is space. Space plays an important role in a communication. Friends who are in the process of communication maintain about 2 or 3 feet. In official situation, the space should be at least 5 to 6 feet depending on the message or information. If the distance between the two, the encoder and the decoder, is less than a foot and off, the situation is labeled intimate. The mother cuddling the baby, the father and the son, or husband and wife in a family private situation communicate in an intimate level of space. Next is the climate. Environmental noise such as ringing telephones, honking horns, and messy, chaotic surroundings can prevent the message from being received clearly. Communicators who want their message to be received clearly and accurately will remove as much as environmental noise as possible. Next is a semiotic barrier. The semiotic barrier in communication can be defined as the misunderstanding and interpretation of meaning which restrict effective communication. It can be in the form of language, sign, and symbol. Next is the cultural barrier. A cultural barrier in communication occurs mainly when communication happens between two different cultural backgrounds. We encounter cultural barriers in everyday life. In the age of globalization and digital media, the whole world is performing and participating on one platform. Next is the psychological barrier. Psychological barriers are emotional barriers to communication. Lack of attention, poor retention, distrust, and defensive perception, viewpoints, attitudes, and opinions, emotions, mental limitations are some of the factors of psychological barriers. Next is the perception barrier. Perceptual barriers are internal biases that influence how we perceive other people, ideas, or events. However, healthy communication becomes difficult when we develop a mental block and reject new information. Catch you in next video. Thank you.